New Comic Day is just around the corner. Here are my top 10 most anticipated. Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, yes, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you Spider Slayer's top 10 most anticipated comics of the week, and this is for February 6th, 2019. That's right, guys, we are in February already. I have a feeling the year's gonna fly by before we know it. It's gonna be Christmas again, right? So if you're not familiar with this video series, guys, this is a video series where each and every week where it premieres at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I show you guys my top 10 most anticipated comics. That's right, guys. So, before we get started, if you like this video, guys, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that all-important notification button because it makes it known that I have content out there for you guys to actually read, right? So, without further ado, let's get started. Now, before we actually get into the top 10, I have a segment called In the Hot Seat, or On the Hot Seat, actually. And these are the books where, you know, I might give them a couple more issues and then, poof, they could disappear. So, this week's Hot Seat goes to Green Lantern, issue 4. Green Lantern series, guys, you know this if you follow my channel. I am not a fan of Morrison's run here on Green Lantern. It's not that I think it's bad. It's not that I think it's horribly written or whatever. It's just not my thing, okay? I'm giving it to this issue, and then I'm going to see if I'm going to buy it physically anymore. And if it's not, you know, at least piquing my interest, then it's just going to go away. You know, I'm just not enjoying it maybe like some others should. And I've given it a solid try at this point. All right. And the next book that's on the hot seat this week goes to actually Iron Man. This is issue 8. Dan Slott's writing this book. I feel like there hasn't been a lot of progression in this story. With just a lot of standing around in this VR place that Tony Stark has created. And now this is really going to be the determining factor because he finally knows it's the controller. And we're going to see maybe this possible battle. But I want to see some character progression here. Nothing's really happened in this series. And we're going on to issue 8. And so I'm very curious to see where the series is going to go now once he battles the controller. We've even hardly seen any armor in action and things like that. And we haven't seen that since issue 1. So I want to see some of that stuff. It just seems like there's just, again, a lot of standing around. So those were the hot seat comics this week. So now let's go right into the countdown. And let's start with my number 10 most anticipated comic. And this one goes to Marvelous X-Men issue 1. Enter the Age of the X-Men. That's right, guys. This is a new series coming off of that weekly series. And the team consists of Jean Grey, Colossus, Storm, X-23, X-Man, Nature Girl, and Magneto. Okay? Oh, yeah, and Nightcrawler, too. He's in there also. So, kind of weird. It takes place in, like, this utopia type of land where there's no stress, and when things go wrong, the X-Men are there. There's no hate. It's just some weird off-world place, it seems like. Not in the real 616. And Zach Thompson's the writer of this, and Marco Felia is the actual artist on this book. It's $3.99. It's not going to cost you extra money. And when you look at the cover, Colossus is missing an arm. So I don't know what's happened in this world and what's going to take place with these characters or how even long this series is going to be. I just know there's going to be lots of X-Men series coming forward. I'm just curious on what this series is going to bring to the X-Men fans out there. All right. So going on to number 9, we go into the Female Furies. Issue 1. This is a mini-series priced at $3.99, guys. Cecil Dilsey, I'm sorry if I said that name wrong, is the writer, and Adriana Mello is the artist on this book. And we get to see how the female Furies are on Apocalypse, and when there's a war that happens, they stay there on Apocalypse, and now they want to change that role or whatnot. Granny wants to be in control of it, but then something bad happens. I'm not really sure what's going to happen or even what to expect from this series, but I think this is cool to you know, get to see Big Berta and some of the other Furies out there and seeing, you know, more of them, because I don't think we get to see enough of those characters. So it's cool just to see what this book is going to offer to its readers. All right, so moving forward to number 8, and you guys might be surprised at this one because I normally don't read it. This is Harley Quinn. This is issue 58. This is kind of cool. This one, based off of the cover, piqued my curiosity because Batman's on the cover, and it looks like he's going to be teaming up with Harley Quinn in this to help her prove a crime that she did not commit. So obviously everyone thinks she's committed this crime, maybe even Batman did, and she has to prove him wrong that she did not do this crime. And along the way, you got to watch that they kind of don't kill each other. So that can make for an interesting story arc, at least for the Harley Quinn series. So I don't normally read it, but this one looks quite interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it is good. All right, so moving on the countdown, we move to number 7. And number 7 goes to X-23 issue 9. Now, this series was on the hot seat a few weeks back, but I kind of like the direction of this story arc. We have this ex-assassin that's been created by Roxxon. I think it was Roxxon. And Laura investigates the ex-assassin's origins, so we want to find out who really she is. Obviously, it looks like her, but is it really her? I don't know, because it's mostly cyborg, and it really doesn't have any emotion. And so Gabby is trying to find that humanity in the cyborg, you know, deep within its heart, if it actually has a heart. And that's the kind of character Gabby is. She wants to find the good in everybody, and anyone that has been made as a clone, they want to kind of make them like their sisters or whatever it is. So it's a little bit lower on the list because we've kind of seen this story before, but I'm interested in this ex-assassin character and where Marvel is going to continue with this particular character, or if it's just a story arc thing and it's done and you never see it again. All right, so moving on to number 6. My number 6 most anticipated comic of the week goes to Uncanny X-Men issue 11. I think this is a make or break issue for this series, okay? I don't know if it was necessary to make this book $7.99. The reason why, though, it's this high, it's because it's 68 pages. Why does it need to be 68 pages also? I don't know. But this is the return of Cyclops. This is, you know, we saw him in the annual. This is the first time he's now in this Uncanny X-Men series. This is coming off of the weekly event. It's now going bi-weekly, and Scott has to rebuild the X-Men team. And the only person that he's with this time around is Logan, okay? And so Matt Rosenberg is actually the writer of this, and Salvador Larroca is the actual artist in this book. And I think it's going to be cool having Scott Summers back again. The way he was written in that annual is the Scott that a lot of us remembered him. He wasn't obviously so much as an angry individual where people hated him. So I'm hoping that with Scott back in the book, this kind of brings X-Men back to the fashion that we once loved. So we'll see what happens, but I really do think these next couple issues is going to be a make it or break it for this series. All right, so moving on to our top 5. And my number 5 book goes to The Walking Dead, issue number 128, okay? Now, who's still reading The Walking Dead out there besides me? Because I see no one actually really talking about it, but I still like it. I've read it all the way from the beginning. It got popular right around when the book started in the 60s. I started like in the high 40s, right before its popularity. And I've just enjoyed it. And it's just one of those books, again, I've read every single issue. I have to continue reading it. But in this issue, we finally get to learn more about Princess. Now, we got to see kind of like why she is the way she is because her father beat her and things like that. And she lived in the horror of worlds before this world. So she's always been in a horrific place. But we finally get to see if she's actually enemy or friend or foe, right? And I'm very curious to see that. Now, again, the great thing about Robert Kirkman is his character development. And Princess is one of those characters who he spent a lot of attention to. The overall plot of The Walking Dead as of late, it's been stagnant. At least they're in this Commonwealth. And at least, we're trying to see if they're going to take this place over or not. But again, it's like wash, repeat. It's kind of the same thing over and over again. I want to see something different. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with The Walking Dead. All right. So coming in at number 4. Now, originally, I wasn't going to read this book, okay? Because I'm like, really? Do we need this one? But when I read the plot of it, I was kind of like, all right, I gotta give it a try and see what it is. But this is Old Man Quill, Issue 1, written by Ethan Sachs, and Robert Gill does the artwork on this. This is a $3.99 book for number 1. And Peter is a ruler of Spardex, okay? Tragedy has happened, and so he's just been the ruler, and, things are haunting him in the past. There's been decades that's passed. And then what happens is the Guardians reach out to him to do this one last huge, big heist, and he goes and he does it. Why does he do it? I don't know. Does he have to do it? Like, what is this about? Are the Guardians that we've known for a while now, and are they really old? And like, I'm just very curious to see what this issue 1 has to offer for its fans. I think this has the potential of being a good story. I love the Old Man series. I love the Wolverine series. I love the Hawkeye series even more. So I'm going to give this Peter Quill one a chance. All right, so entering the top 3. My number 3 most anticipated book of the week goes to Immortal Hulk, issue 13. Who is reading Immortal Hulk right now? Put it in the comments below, guys. I think it's a wonderful series. This couldn't be higher on my list though this week because I felt like there was some holes in the last issue where it made it a little disjointed, where I couldn't kind of follow it. But the big thing about the last issue is we got to learn about Bruce's father, on how not physically, but I guess emotionally abusive he was to his son, and why Bruce has so much anger built up inside of him because of the years of abuse from his father. And not only do we get to learn about that, but we wind up getting to learn about why Bruce's father is the way that he is also. So that made for a very interesting story plot and character development between the two characters. And now, obviously, Hulk is in hell, and the one below is in control of hell, and we're thinking that the one that's in control, that's in hell, is his father. And there's somebody there that can obviously help defeat him. One is himself, but there's somebody else there too. It's a very crazy series. It's very horrific. It's very different. If you've never read Immortal Hulk, or read Hulk before, or Immortal Hulk, this is not your traditional Hulk. This is something completely different, but I definitely suggest it. And if you can get it in trade, read it in trade, I think you guys would like it. It's like, has this real independent feel to it. It's not the Hulk smash type of shit, okay? All right, so moving on to number 2, and that goes to Young Justice issue 2, all right? The first issue was really good. You got to see A lot of the team come together because of the Gem World people was trying to take over Earth and looking for Superman. And then they wound up getting sucked up into like Gem World or whatever it is. And then this other place. And the team got scattered apart. And so the team in this issue is going to help Amethyst to free Gem World. Okay. And then Connor and Kent Impulse are going to find themselves captive. But why doesn't Superboy use his powers to kind of beat these bad guys? I don't know. We'll find out. Now, I feel like I'm a little bit misled, and hopefully they do touch on it in the second issue about Wonder Girl's situation, because she didn't want to use her powers in that first issue. And I swear to you, at the cliffhanger, Brian Michael Bendis said at the end, "Secrets revealed for Wonder Girl." And in this description, it didn't talk about Wonder Girl whatsoever. So I hope I'm not getting misled by Mr. Bendis already in the second issue. And I also want to know about the Teen Lantern. Who the hell is the Teen Lantern? We didn't get to see her. We just saw a construct of her. We don't know where she comes from. I need to know more about her and Wonder Girl's situation. So, I don't know. We'll see. But that's why I think it got number 2, because it's like I don't hear anything about Wonder Girl being even mentioned. So we'll see what happens. All right. So moving on to that all-important number 1 most anticipated comic. Now, guys, don't forget in the comments below at any time, feel free to put what your top 10 are, what your top 5, top 3, number 1 most anticipated comic of the week are. Whatever the case, I want to know it in the comments below. Again, guys, thank you for your support. All right, so my number 1 comic of the week, most anticipated, goes to Champions Issue 2. I like Champions. With this and Teen Titans, they're my favorite team books right now, followed by probably West Coast Avengers. This is cool because at the end of the first issue, we got to see Miles Morales, and he's very upset, and you get to see him with Mephisto, and obviously he made a deal. Because in the description, we read it, and it says a certain champion is willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to make things succeed, and what are they willing to give up to make that happen. So based off of what happened in that last issue, it looks like Miles made a deal with the devil, and now something bad might happen to him, or maybe people, his loved ones, or whatever the case may be. It's kind of funny that that Zub wants to touch on this whole situation with Mephisto and the Spider-Man, as we've seen this in the past before. It doesn't bother me, though. I think it makes for an interesting plot twist, because I want to see what Miles has done. I want to see, you know, what he's given up, and I want to see how these champions succeed, or does he cancel the deal and everything crumbles apart. I really want to see the outcome of this story. So that is my number 1 pick, and there are my top 10 most anticipated comics for February 6th, 2019. Again, guys, hopefully you enjoyed. Put those comments below what your most anticipated comics are. And as always, fans, this channel does not work without your support. So until that next comic book review, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a single video from me. And I'll see you guys on the next comic book review. Have a great week, everyone. Take care. Bye.